at the EBRD, about to speak with Zsuzsanna Hargitai, who's the Managing Director for Central Asia at the EBRD.
We're absolutely delighted to be here and be joined by Zsuzsanna Hargitai, who's the Managing Director of Central Asia at the EBRD. We're thrilled to be here in Tashkent and recording this in person. So Zsuzsanna, if I could ask you to briefly introduce yourself and talk about the EBRD's mission in Central Asia briefly and how you support startups.
Okay, so where is Central Asia? It's between what they call the bear and the dragon. It's a relatively remote region even for EBRD. And these are what you would know as the stans. So it's Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, Kyrgyz Republic, and Tajikistan. And I also cover, of course, vibrant Mongolia. So EBRD is an international financial institution active in various fields. One of the key areas for us is to support the development of entrepreneurship. Micro, small, medium-sized businesses. And recently we have started also supporting startups. The bread and butter part of our activities is lending through banks. But I know that you want to ask me about something else, which is supporting entrepreneurship in general and startups.
Excellent.
So you mentioned that this is a remote market, even for the EBRD. It is true that Central Asia is often overlooked. What do you think makes this market special when it comes to entrepreneurship and innovation? And what do you think is its current state and potential?
Central Asia is waking up. Kazakhstan has been in the lead for some time now. And of course, for the last 7 years, Uzbekistan is the story. Kyrgyz Republic is catching up when it comes to innovation and entrepreneurship. And we see lots of innovation as well in Tajikistan, and we try to discover in Turkmenistan as well. What makes it interesting, look, you're looking at a market that is with a fast-growing population, with consumer needs. It's out of reach unless you use digital, and that will be a recurring theme for many of the suppliers. So you first start the trade, and being remote, it defines somehow whom you are trading with. It's not completely overlooked. Let me give you an example. We have teamed up with a company association strategist, with my friend Anatoly Motkin. He has been pushing for the digital innovation, digital education, digital innovation. And what we discovered together, that there are already quite a lot of software companies, yes, including developing gaming softwares, that are already supplying the hyperscalers. So the beauty of the digital part of the innovation is that it knows no borders, and you have very good to reasonably good IT infrastructure overall that helps these entrepreneurs grow. So not totally overlooked. The same applies also to Mongolia, where you have the proximity of South Korea, China, Japan, so they can tap into the potential of the innovation potential of that market.
Perfect. And looking ahead, what trends do you see shaping the landscape in Central Asia? How can entrepreneurs take advantage of these? And what are you most excited for in 2024?
Let me do a promotion here. I said that EBRD's natural area was not to deal with startups. So what I was most excited about, and it's now a year ago, is to introduce our Star Venture program in Central Asia. Star Venture program is not yet about financing. It's about long-term, so startup companies, they are invited in all the countries to make their pitch annually. And then we select few of them, 5 maximum, and they receive long-term coaching to develop something which they believe is a good product into a commercially viable product, at least initial stage. And we already have a cohort of some 23 such companies in Central Asia and more in Mongolia. We also work with accelerators so that they can give support to more than the selected few startups. We work with mentors. As I mentioned, EBRD is active in many sectors, so we have a lot of corporate clients that are mature enough to care about startups, either to tap their brain or simply because they believe in entrepreneurship and young entrepreneurs. And last but not least, we are identifying business angels. There is an emerging class, especially of local entrepreneurs, because we talk about a remote region, that are ready to put in also money. seed capital so that the commercially viable product can develop. What am I excited about? So Star Venture has focused on digital. And when you traveled here, you will tell me about your experience. In Uzbekistan, a lot of focus is on digital technologies, whether it's fintech, whether it's various types of software development. What I'm excited about in 2024 that we are going to launch the agri-ventures, because this is a region that has been providing food, a lot of food, not only for local population but for Russia and now beyond, exporting also to Europe. You will see my Uzbek products on UK market shelves as well. So innovation in agriculture is this region's potential, but also the need. You are familiar with water scarcity, if you have traveled in Uzbekistan out of Tashkent. Yeah. So a lot of innovation needs to go there for the increased quality of the products to be produced with less resource efficiency. So that keeps me excited, and watch the screen because in the second half of the year we launched the special Agri Star Venture leg.
Okay. I think we've got a candidate for that already. We've met a water startup yesterday.
Brilliant.
So as the EBRD moves towards becoming a majority green bank by 2025, could you share a bit about how that applies in terms of strategies for Central Asia?
Well, first of all, our country strategies that we have for each country, they are very boring because the priority number one is the green. And the green has various legs. First, you would agree with me, it's about green energy transition. This is where the country we are in, Uzbekistan, has taken the lead now, with developing a lot of new renewable capacity and related innovation that is coming in this country. And exiting fossil fuels with very ambitious aims. That also applies to Kazakhstan. In Tajikistan, Kyrgyz Republic, they are green already. Their issue with the hydro generation is the melting glacier. So green energy transition, we are there for the policy and investments. Number two is where we are still not there, which is let's consume less energy. And that relates to energy efficiency across the sectors. The number one sector depends on the country, is a lot of industries that are very energy intensive. So this is through our corporate projects that we build in energy efficiency matters, but we reach out. And you are deeply interested in small, medium-sized enterprises. So in particular in the Kyrgyz Republic, we have the third generation of green economy financing facility. There is a big demand. These facilities that will go through the banks, apart from the funding that is not, we have to work on a commercial basis so that we are sustainable, but they have some incentive payments upon completion of projects and technical assistance so that you design it for maximum energy efficiency. In transport, we are the ones that are leading, both in Kazakhstan and in Uzbekistan, introducing electric vehicle strategy. So we are taking care of policies. We are looking at EV infrastructure. One of our forthcoming projects has a very strong link to setting up EV infrastructure. Other partner institutions, they are taking care of the fleet. But I was very happy to ride already Rush in Dushanbe, which is electric cars operating taxi company. So the transport leg is there, and again, there is a big initiative to develop the Trans-Caspian transport corridor, where we are pushing for railways to be on the forefront versus roads. So a lot has been happening already last year. 54% of our measurable, reportable financing went directly for green projects. And of course, the third leg is about what you asked me before, or there was the previous question about innovation in the area. So energy is one area, what we are looking at, overall resource efficiency, consume less raw material, and of course the third bit of the green transition is climate adaptation. And this is where we need to do far more so that the projects, water would be the next big theme. We have been financing a lot of water projects, providing 3 million people already just in the Kyrgyz Republic with drinkable water. We have a massive water supply program in Uzbekistan. Irrigation is next. So irrigation canals, they date back not to the Sogdian period, which is 6th century BC, but to the Soviet era. So they are 40, 50, 60 years old. So irrigation canals, how to revamp them with new technology that we bring in, including local ideas, that's the next big thing. In Uzbekistan, we already have a 200 billion euro program, which will be adding another 250, and the sky's the limit because irrigation is what gives people the food that they need, and also harnessing the agricultural potential. So overall, again, in Central Asia, we have already reached our own target, and we are going beyond. I will not go 100% green because I can't. I have to develop road infrastructure that is still missing. There are SME activities that might not necessarily have, but we maximize the impact that we have through the green transition, through climate adaptation and nature-based financing, and also harnessing innovation, whether foreign technology or local.
It's hopefully where the startups will come in and support the green transition. Thank you.
Absolutely.
So for founders who are interested in EBRD support, what steps should they take and how can they apply for the support from the bank?
I mentioned to you that our window of support for startups is the Star Ventures. They have regular application cycles that are available both on EBRD.com, but we also advertise it in each and every country through the social media. So this is the pitch context, and they can apply. They are invited for the interview that is done not only by EBRD staff, but with our partners, so that they can do the dragons then. This is the way to do for those that have already, not startups, but have already a business going. They have to go to our local banks. Again, you can find them on our website, ebrd.com, together with our contacts in each country. We have an office. So one of the big things about EBRD that over 2/3 of what we do in a country is through our offices where I'm hosting you. So again, there is easier way to find local banks through which we are financing, and also the annual kind of calls for applications.
Could you share a success story of a startup that's recently really grown thanks to EBRD support?
I told you that we had just launched the Star Ventures program last year and a half ago. So the success story I would like to mention is for some young people from Kazakhstan, southern Kazakhstan, that launched, in face of the competition for the big banks that have gone digital, their own digital platform for Islamic banking. It's the company Tayyab that has gained very strong followership. Not only do they do Islamic banking, but they also cater for this need, and they had already hundreds of thousands of clients by the time we awarded them the star of the Star Ventures at our annual meeting in Samarkand in May 2023. In Uzbekistan, because we are meeting here, we launched already the call for proposals, so the initial applications have been made, and the poor applicants are going through the Dragon's Den as we speak. So by the time I see you, hopefully in half a year or more, I can tell you about the story of the selected Uzbek candidates.
That sounds really good. Looking forward to hearing it.
So our last question's on a bit of a different note. If you could have dinner with any figure from history, could be dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Well, it's always risky to choose somebody who's alive, huh? And I have had dinners with a lot of excellent people, honestly, for the last 30 years of my career, historic figures now. So let me go back to 3. One is Jean-Baptiste Colbert, with whom I would love to have a dinner with. He would be one of my 3 guests, because I would like to see how he pushed through his own economic policies when there was an absolute monarchy. Yeah. So how do you deal with these issues? How do you reconcile interest? As I worked a lot in the Balkans, I would love to have at my dinner Willy Brandt. How do you reconcile? What was his policy? The person who lived through the Second World War, what was his road to take Germany to reconciliation with Poland? So how that has been going on. And the last figure I would like to have dinner with is Deng Xiaoping. How to take the country from Maoism to the opening up. Of course, I mean, we are talking in Central Asia, so my dinner would not be full with guests if I would not have this discussion with Deng Xiaoping at a dinner of his way of thinking and how he imagined it and facing China of today. So these are my 3 dinner guests. And I would love to have Uzbek dinner because it lasts long, is delicious, and I think that they would open up.
Which is your favorite plov?
I will not answer the question because we are doing the interview in Tashkent and I'm a frequent visitor to Samarkand. Oof. And there are some tensions, even among families. It's a the trickiest question you have asked.
So thank you so much, Zsuzsanna, for the time you've afforded us. I hope this has brought a lot of insight. It's wonderful the work that the EBRD is doing in Central Asia and Mongolia. Really great to hear all of the different initiatives going on, and definitely something that some of the startups in our audience would benefit from. So thank you for your time.
You're very welcome, and we are working on new products. Hopefully in half a year.
Definitely.
Thank you so much.